Okay, everyone, this is a revision for chapter 14. Okay, I think I'll start from this point. Okay, any point on a unit circle, any point can be represented as an x or y. Right, that's Cartesian coordinate. And the x can be represented as a cosine theta and y as a sine theta because of this simple ratio. So whenever you see a point on a unit circle, that point can always be represented as a cosine and sine theta. And x is always the cosine and y is always the sine. And because of that, okay, so x is always cosine theta, y is always sine theta. And because of that, because we know that in a Cartesian coordinate, x is always positive on the right side of y. And y is always positive on top of x. Therefore, in the first quadrant, everything will be positive. X will be positive, y will be positive, meaning sine will be positive, cosine will be positive. And in second quadrant, sine is positive because it's still on top of x-axis, but cosine will be negative. This one is only tangent positive. Why? Because tangent is the ratio between sine and cosine. But because both sine and cosine are negative in this quadrant, so tangent will be positive. And last but not least, fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, sine is negative because the y here is negative. So only the cosine is positive. Okay, I'll use this few example in your worksheet to discuss questions like this. So sine 11 pi over 4. What should be the value? Okay, without using calculator, with the help of only this table and these charts, how are you going to find the answer? Because actually 11 pi over 4 is a special angle. What is 11 pi over 4? 11 pi over 4 is actually 8 pi plus 3 pi divided by 4, which is actually a 2 pi plus 3 pi over 4. So what is 2 pi plus 3 pi over 4? 2 pi plus 3 pi over 4 is actually one full rotation, which is 2 pi, and then plus another 3 pi over 4. So 11 pi over 4, in the end, you will end up here. Okay, so one full rotation, then come to 3 pi over 4. So the effect of a 3 pi over 4 is actually a 45 degree, right? Symmetry, so you can refer to this chart. So it's the effect of a 3 pi over 4 is a 45 degree, pi over 4. So pi over 4 for sine is actually 1 over square root 2. And is it positive or negative? It is positive. Why? You are in second quadrant. Second quadrant sine is positive. So this is the answer for this particular question. Okay, next. What about cosine minus 7 pi over 4? So minus, what does minus mean? Minus means your rotation will be clockwise. Positive rotation is an anti-clockwise. Negative rotation is clockwise. So you're rotating in this manner. But what is minus 7 pi over 4? So minus 7 pi over 4 is actually minus 2 pi plus pi over 4. Okay? So where will you end up? Minus 2 pi plus pi over 4 is actually, from here, you go one round. Right, this is actually negative 2 pi plus pi over 4. So actually you're here. So you're only moving 7 pi minus 7 pi over 4. So it's like here like this, and then you end up here. So you are in the first quadrant. And then what is the effect? The base angle is actually a pi over 4. So the answer is 1 over square root 2. It's also positive because we're here, first quadrant. Okay, this is very important. Okay, how do you solve an equation like this? How do you find out all the possible angles? The domain in this case is minus pi to pi. Okay, like what I described to you yesterday. I gave you the notes, so you have to stick to this step-by-step methods. And if you stick to this, you will definitely find your answer, and you won't miss anything. So the first step, now to find the base angle. Sine theta equals to minus square root over 2. What is the base angle? The base angle is minus pi over 3, which is a minus 60 degree, which is here. Okay, so minus 60 degree. And which quadrant? So second step, you have to identify what is the quadrant. In this case, sine is negative. Sorry, in this case, sine is negative, so it will be third and fourth quadrant. Okay, I'm pasting the example I gave you yesterday. So it should be third and fourth quadrant since sine is negative. And then third step, identifying angles in these two quadrants that solve these equations. So beside pi over 3, what is the another answer that can fulfill your equation? So minus pi over 3, where's minus pi over 3? Minus pi over 3 is from here, you move pi over 3, which is here. So the effect is like a 5 pi over 3, so but in this manner. So you rotate a pi over 3 negatively. Okay, so it's here. So what is the another answer? Another answer will be the symmetrical value over here, which is a minus 2 pi over 3. Okay, so there's this one and this one. These two locations. Represented in this graph, this point and this point. So these two are the answer. Okay, this point and this point, this one and this one. So these are the two solutions. Okay, and the next step. So you have found the answer in these two quadrants, but we have to check the domain. We have to exhaust the domain, because if let's say this domain, if there's no domain, let's say the domain is the whole entire x-axis, then you have uncountable number of answers. But we have restricted it from just minus pi to pi. So you look at this graph. Is there any more answers? No. Okay, so which means these are the only two solutions. Okay, next. Almost similar, but now instead of theta, it is 2 theta. So the steps are all the same. First, find the base angle. The base angle of 2 theta. In this case, it's not theta, but 2 theta. 2 theta will be minus pi over 3. Just now was theta equals to pi over 3. Now it will be 2 theta equals to pi over 3. Okay, which quadrant? Still the same. It will be third and fourth because it is negative sign. So identifying angles in these two quadrants solve the equation. So 2 theta equals to pi over 3. Theta will be pi over 6, right? And the other one, like just now, the previous answer was minus 2 pi over 3, right? So theta will be minus pi over 3. And actually, these two answers can be seen from this graph, this point and this point. Last step, you have to exhaust the domain, minus pi to pi. From this graph, this is minus pi, this is pi. And you can see that beside these two answers, there are 2 more. How do we find out what are these two? You add pi. Okay, you add. Why do we add pi? Because pi is the period in this question. Okay, the previous question, the period was 2 pi. This question, the period is pi. So you plus pi, or you can do a minus pi, and then you have 6 answers. Then you choose those in this domain. Okay, in this case, I just cut short, I know that it's just plus pi. So by plussing the pi, I find out the other 2 answers, which is here and here. So altogether, there are 4 solutions. Shown in this graph, there's 4 points. These 4 intersections. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, make it bigger for you. These are the 4 solutions.